Good afternoon, everyone. So, as you already know, we have only one more day to go for our 2022 prelims examination. So, when it comes to prelims examination, you all know that it's not only about the game of information or fact. It's a game of mind. So, if you are able to keep calm, or if you are able to hold yourself together in the examination or all, you will able to clear the examination, because every time what we see is students used to miss out from the cutoff for 2 or 3 marks. So that 2 or 3 marks can be achieved if you are able to if you are able to keep your calm, or if you are able to look at the questions more in a calmful mindset. So to achieve such kind of things, we need especially we need a expert opinion. So here we from the part of Civil 360, we arranged a session so that we have an expert here. So I welcome her. So her name is Ranju Krishna. Her profile is she did MD in India and South Asia, and also has done her MSc clinical and counselling psychology, and she also has 10-year experience in the field. I hope our section will be more helpful to you to reduce your nervousness or reduce your anxiety and everything. So I welcome Ranju Krishna once again. So Ranju Krishna, hand over to you.
Thank you so much, Basil, and thank you to all of you who have joined in. And I'm sure it's tight, and your nerves are on edge in terms of the number of hours left to take the exams. But let me ask, so how many of you have come with the expectation that, okay, let me see for 2 minutes. If it's not worthwhile, I'll skip. You can feel free to unmute yourself or put down your thoughts on the chat. So how many of you have given yourself a timeline for this session? Saying, okay, I'll have 2 minutes or 5 minutes into the session. Let me see. If not, it's a waste of time. I can go back to the books. Can I have some response? Okay. Aslam, I think you agree with me, right? So you have those 5 minutes, the golden period for me to impress, for you to stay on. Okay, Jishnu also says he agrees, I think, with that raise of the hand. Or do you have something to say, Jishnu? Okay, so given the fact that most of you must have... Anyone else? Someone unmuted themselves? Okay, given the fact that all of you are here and, it's the mid-afternoon or heading towards evening, and also you would want to relax before the big day. So let me tell you something about myself too. So Basil was very gracious enough to introduce me, but I was also an IAS aspirant or civil services aspirant, and I gave all the attempts, all the 4 attempts, and as Basil said, I also missed by 1 mark in the final stage. So that is my story. And going back, it does not stop the life, or it does not create any hindrance, no matter what the results or what the outcome is, right? So let's do something, and maybe I would need you to unmute yourself or just put down a word in the chat box. What is the first word that comes to you if I ask you what state of mind or what is the feeling that you're currently with? Anything. You can either unmute yourselves and tell me, or you can put it down on the chat box so that we know where we are. What is the one word? Anxiety, anxiety, uncertainty, very much so. Okay. Anything else apart from the anxiety and uncertainty? Stillness, yes, definitely. Okay, so on top of the mind, if I can check the pulse of the group, it's anxiety, uncertainty, stillness. But there are many other things, right? There might be fear, there might be what to do next, the uncertainty factor as well. And also the confusion. If this does not work this time, what do I do next? Right? Or am I doing the right thing? So we need that assurance, we need that calmness before we enter into the hall. So what can we do for all these states of mind or all these emotions and feelings that we are going through? So we, as all of us know, we would have spent either 1 year or 2 years, or some of us even many years, who are, again starting from the scratch. That's the beauty of the civil services also, right? No matter where you have stopped, whether it's prelims, mains, or even your interview, you again come back and start from the first step or start afresh. So how do you handle these anxiety or uncertainty or the fear or even the stillness or the numbness that you go through just before the exam? Because we all know that we would have spent a minimum of 8 to 16 hours each day on studies, on preparing for the exam, and also in terms of how do we prepare ourselves for the results, right? So if all of you can turn on your videos, or if you are comfortable to turn on your videos, anyone for that matter, we can do a quick activity in terms of how do we relax ourselves, as well as how do we cope up with the stress which comes in, right? So I can see that some of them are leaving the meeting, or some of them find that, okay, let me just quickly go back and do the revision. That is also the anxiety. What if I've missed something? Maybe I can go back and look into the books and probably brush those aspects, right? So can we do a quick activity? Do I have the group with me for that? Okay, Reshma says yes. Anyone else? Okay. Okay, so what happens when we study for 8 to 16 hours? Some of us might be following that, okay, let me study the 15 minutes or 20 minutes and let me take a 2-minute break or a 5-minute break or a 10-minute break. So but many of us might forget that, right? So we might not be mindful of things that is happening around, or we might not be aware of what is going on within ourselves, especially what is happening inside our body. So I would want you to go back, spend that 1 minute, and listen to your body as to what is it saying. Okay, just close your eyes and listen to my voice, and concentrate on your breathing now. Take a deep breath. Sure, Vijayan. Take a deep breath and exhale slowly. Okay, repeat this again. Take a deep breath and exhale. Take a deep breath again and exhale. Now we breathe from our nose and breathe out through our mouth. Let's try this again. Take a deep breath and breathe out using your mouth. Repeat this again. Take a deep breath and breathe out. Okay. So do you feel a little bit of that calmness, even if it was for a few seconds, wherein you were not listening to anything, not listening to the confusion or the chaos that are going on in the brain or in your mind, but just listening to my instruction and concentrating on your breathing? Yeah. So, okay. So this was just a quick 1 or 2 minutes, but whenever you take a break during these studies or during the next few hours in this day and tomorrow, make sure that you're concentrating and being mindful of what you eat, where you are, and what you are breathing. concentrate on the air, concentrate on the feeling that you are having inside your body, and also look around. So, if this is about taking a break and concentrating and making yourself calm, the another aspect which is very important, especially before the exam, is having enough sleep, right? So, if you do not have a minimum of 6 to 8 hours of sleep just before the exam, according to studies, you are less likely to remember things or less likely to remember the information in this matter. For example, you would have studied a particular topic, let's say the current affairs topic, and you have concentrated on a particular political development, and you have read everything, and you have just read it before you go back to sleep, and you have slept for a good 6 to 8 hours. There's a better consolidation and there's a better recall the next day. However, if ever you are up till 3 in the morning, sleep between 3 to 5, and again you're up at 5, your brain is sort of overwhelmed with multiple information, right? So, what you need to do, especially today and tomorrow, given the fact that you will be up and writing the exam and you would have finished one paper already on Sunday. So, please try and have a good sleep tonight. So, you can have a little sleep ritual before you sleep. Go wash your face with cold water, then come back, have a good glass of water. So I always keep a bottle of water or a glass of water next to me no matter where I am, so that your body craves that water whenever you are in a very stressful or anxious state, right? So it's very important for you to keep your body hydrated. So we were talking about the sleep ritual, come back after you wash your face, come back, have a nice cup of water or a glass of cold water or warm water, whatever you would like. Then listen to some nice music, whichever you like. If you like, electronic genre, you like classical genre, or you like the blues, whatever song that relaxes your mind, listen to that song for 15-20 minutes and then go to sleep without hassling your mind again with all the information. Okay, did I do enough? You have done enough. You have done that enough for one whole year or 2 years or 3 years, whatever your preparation time has been. You have given your best, right? So calm your mind before you go to sleep, and do not let any electronic gadget wake you up. Especially, I'm sure most of you wouldn't be accessing your mobile phones or laptop or any of those gadgets, but again, consciously, just before you go to sleep, maybe 20 minutes earlier to 30 minutes earlier. In fact, the study says 1 hour prior to your sleep, you shouldn't be looking at any blue screen. But given the fact that all of us are busy looking at something or talking to someone, make sure at least 30 minutes before your sleep, you're away from the blue screen, so that your melatonin levels in the body, which is very, very important for your sleep, is stabilized, and not that it has gone low and again you don't feel that sleep, or you don't feel sleepy at all, right? So make sure you have this little sleep ritual, or some might get very relaxed using a warm water dip for your feet, wherein you have enough warm water or hot water to your liking, add a spoon of salt and a little bit of lemon, and soak your feet for 20 minutes before sleep, and then go to sleep. So that also relaxes your mind and calms down your nerves to have a better quality of sleep, right? So this is about the sleep ritual. And also you can look at having a chamomile tea or having a chamomile essential oil spread across your pillow for better sleep, so that there is a good quality of sleep. It's not that you're lying down on the bed for 8 hours but there is no sleep. You need that time to rest your brain, which has been working continuously for last so many months or so many weeks, right? So you can calm down with these and have a good sleep, wherein maybe you can tell your folks, if you're staying with your family or friends, or if you stay alone, then how do you make yourself noiseless for those 6 to 8 hours, so that you have a better quality of sleep or good sleep. And if this is about sleep, once you wake up, go again, have a look outside your window, no matter where you are. I'm sure some of us might see greenery, some of us might not be able to see greenery, not so fortunate to stay in a green place around. But make sure that you open your window, inhale the fresh air that is coming in, and then look outside just for a minute or two so that you can relax and come to that groove of, okay, I've had a good day, and tell yourself that I've done enough and I've had a good day, good sleep, and I'm going to do better today as well, right? So that can be one aspect of sleep. And also start your day with a glass of water and have a good breakfast, maybe with a big banana, a glass of milk, and also some cereal or some protein to your liking, or whoever likes to have their fruits and vegetables. It's up to your liking, whatever your body is used to and whatever your body is comfortable with, right? So these are some of the routines that you can have, because good sleep and a very nutritious diet is also very important for yourself, for keeping your brain, keeping your mind, and keeping yourself happy. They say, right, happy belly is a happy mind, but not a full belly. So just make sure that you eat to your content, but not up till your throat level. Just make sure you eat 80% to your stomach level, and then you will feel light, you will feel better, as well as whatever the nutrition and supplement that your body has to get will get. Okay. And any questions, if you have any questions, please feel free to put it down in the chat box, or feel free to unmute yourselves and ask. Right? There is no right or wrong aspect. And let's have a conversation rather than just being, one way, wherein I'm talking and you're listening. So you can probably come up with what are some of the things that you're currently having and how would you like it to be addressed at this point of time. Make the most of these 30-40 minutes that you have, right? So you can feel free to unmute yourself or put down a question. And maybe I can also tell you what didn't work for me when I was writing the exams, and why stress is not so helpful, or why stress is something which is not going to help all the time. Because some people might feel if you're a little anxious, it will help, like what we call the good stress or the eustress, right? So any questions, any observations, or any thoughts, or any strategies that you're using, maybe for the benefit of the group, that you can share. Okay, so there's a question, how can we keep away from distractions? So that's a very important question, right? See, even now I'm tempted, because today is my working day. There's a lot of pings coming in, and that's a distraction for me, right? So there's no way apart from being very mindful of that distraction and accepting it, that it's a distraction. Currently, I'm on this task. Let me get back to it once I'm done. Say, for example, when you're reading the book, or when you're reading a particular journal or article, make sure that you accept the distraction first. If ever you're going to deny it, it is going to keep coming back to you. It will be at the back of your head saying, okay, there is a thing coming up. There's a stimuli, extra stimuli. But if ever you accept that, okay, this ping has come in, and be mindful that you'll have to reply later on, or in your case, maybe someone is calling, or someone is inviting you out for some, they might say, okay, let's step out for a coffee, or someone has come home and you have to go greet, or whatever the distraction may be. So accept that, and then make sure that you respond to it once you're done, right? So accepting the distraction is one way to beat it. Okay, any other question? That's a very good question, Mohammed. So how can we stop procrastination and lethargic mindset? So I was reading while I was flying from Bangalore to Delhi yesterday. I was going through this book called, I'm sure most of you would have heard, Ikigai, the secret of Japanese technique for a happy life, right? So there I came across a very interesting line which said, you are not a procrastinator, but you get into that habit of procrastination. So it's a habit. Procrastination is a habit which can be broken. And also, how do we tune ourselves to be more active and not lethargic? Say, for example, if we have to take up procrastination. So use the technique of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So anytime you feel that you're going to procrastinate, say, for example, you have set yourself a schedule that I will work or I'll wake up at 7 tomorrow or 6:30 tomorrow, and I will make sure that I will start studying. But somehow you don't feel, or somehow you don't want to break that relationship with the bed, and you procrastinate, or you are watching TV, you will say, okay, just 1 over of cricket and I'm up. But you end up watching the whole match. Why? Because you are going through that. Procrastination is also sort of triggered by stress. So when you think there is a lot of things to be done, or there are stimuli which is overwhelming you, you tend to procrastinate because you're not accepting it. So again, acceptance is key here. Saying, okay, now I have this task, let me start. And a very good aspect or a great thing about our mind is once it starts working, it will continue. It's all about how do we get it to start, right? So what you can say, okay, let me take these 5 seconds and then let me come back to this work. So anytime you feel yourselves procrastinating, what you can do, okay, let me beat this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you get up. Or sometimes, you even if you are ready, everything's ready, your books are in front of you, you have your stationery, you are starting to make notes, or you're listening to some audio lesson, and you're still procrastinating about certain aspect, what you can do is pause for that moment, then take stock. Okay, what is it that I'm getting overwhelmed with? Is it the syllabus or the vast topics that I have to cover today? Then break it down into smaller goals. For example, if there are 4 chapters for you to finish, don't look at it for 4 chapters. Instead, break it down to 25 minutes of a unit, or you can even break it down to 30 minutes a unit, and then go ahead. So that way the procrastination will come down. When you see a smaller goal, it does not overwhelm you, and you are much more to start than procrastinate. And for the lethargic mindset, one way is to keep your body and mind aligned. So make sure, no matter how grueling your schedule is, to incorporate 10 to 15 minutes of a physical activity. Either walk, or stand in a place and walk, or you can even work out for those 10-15 minutes, whatever it is that gives your body a good workout, right? So these are some of the things that you can do for procrastination and lethargic mindset. I hope I have answered your question, Aslam. Okay. Anyone else? Any other question? Okay. Let me tell you what worked for me instead of what did not work for me. So when I used to clear either prelims or mains, the one thing that always worked for me is being in that moment, especially the day before the exams. I wouldn't touch my books the whole day. If it was Sunday, I wouldn't touch my books on Saturday at all. I would unwind, because you would need that time. Your mind and brain would also need that time to unwind. Then only the recollection is better, or the recall is better, because it needs that time to consolidate, right? For example, that's why they say whenever you're reading something, make sure you sleep over it for a better consolidation and recall. So this is what helped me. I'm sure you would have your different strategies, but still, I would suggest, especially after tomorrow afternoon, do not touch your books. Maybe you can mind a quick mind map or a mnemonic map. Mind map in the sense, whatever is important in a particular topic, you can start drawing out so that it's easier for you to remember. Or you can have a mnemonic, which is basically you take out a word, make it into your own story, or create a story based on the information that you would want to require. Say, for example, you want to remember the chronology of certain happenings or events, or you would want to remember the amendments or articles, right? So how do you make it into a mnemonic story or a storyboard so that you can remember better? But I would suggest, after tomorrow evening at least, do not touch your books. No matter how much of the temptation that is, do not touch your books. Instead, look at how can you calm down your nerves. As Basil very rightly said in the beginning, it's not that we lose out those marks because of our lack of knowledge. It's because of that anxiety, whether I'm doing right, whether I have enough time to finish all the questions, right? So if you calm your nerves, I am sure those extra 2-3 marks will come in. Maybe that is what I lost out in the final stages of the examinations as well. So there's a question on how to boost our mind if some questions are very tough in the beginning. Okay, so this is a very important question. In fact, when we are in the exam hall, I think we tend to get stuck when we do not clearly know an answer, right? So make sure you move ahead and take up the next question, whichever is your forte. Say, for example, some might be very good with current affairs, some might be very good with general mental ability, some might be very good with economics or history. Whatever is your forte, attempt those questions. Before that, when you get the question paper, make sure you have a quick glance for 2-3 minutes, which is called the speed reading, right? I'm sure you must have already been given this strategy wherein you speed read and you know where the alignment of these questions are. Where are these questions placed? Say, for example, you do that first page and quickly jot out those 8 questions or 16 questions. Then you know where is what. So take those 2-3 minutes. It's not a waste of time to speed read those questions. At least your brain knows where what is coming in. So if there is a tough question in the beginning, do not get deterred. Instead, what you can do, okay, this is tough, but there are other questions which are, I'm sure I know the answers, because you would know the answers. There's nothing that you wouldn't. It's just a matter of figuring out from that multiple choice, right? Whether it's right or not. So make sure if it is tough in the beginning itself, like the first question or second questions, you move on to the third, then come back to this when your mind is much more settled and attempt again. And I'm sure you would know the answer to choose. So if there is a roadblock in the very beginning, make sure you accept, okay, I know this is there. Let me move on and come back. So that way you save time, you do not get stuck, you do not get discouraged for the next set of questions. Because the moment you give that authority for that question to hassle you or make you anxious, then you're losing out your marks and precious time for the next questions. So just remember this. Okay, I don't know this question at this point of time, but I will know the answer once I come back, and then move forward to the next ones. I hope this works for you, Akhil, day after when you attempt, and I hope there are no tough questions in the beginning. Okay, any other question? Or if someone wants to share something that has worked for them. As we are talking about, the presence in that particular examination hall, you would also know the technique of elimination, right? So when you're attempting a question, make sure you use that elimination technique first, and then look at whatever is left. Say, suppose in the options you have eliminated 2, and there are 2 more. So how do you look at it? Then it becomes easier for your brain to pick the right answer as well. So use that technique of elimination, use that technique of near proximity, or whichever and whatever is the recent study that you have done and you think this is very familiar, make sure you shortlist that and then use that 1 or 2 minutes to deliberate whether this is the exact answer for the question or is it the other option. So that way you cut down your time drastically. Instead of going through all 4 options and thinking which is right, start eliminating whichever is not quite relevant to the question. Yeah. So Basil, you have a question?
Yeah, if you have any kind of questions, you can ask actually. Take help from her, since we're glad that we got a person's already gone through the same process and missed out from UPSC final rank list for like few marks. So if you have any query related to your examination, how to keep calm or whatever it is, just shoot your question. So use this opportunity, because we got a wonderful resource person here.
And I wanted to tell you something as well. So, no matter what the society says, right? No matter what people around you tell you, and no matter how difficult things might, and sometimes we feel it is very, very, unfortunate or unfair that we are all studying, and there are people who are not putting so much hard work but reaping a lot of benefit. Do not even pay attention to that. So each one of our journey is very different. No matter what people tell you, that why spend so much time, or when you do not know the results, why are you even spending your 1 or 2 years into this? But this is a different examination which looks at a lot of perseverance and patience. And I'm sure if you have decided to take up, so you have enough patience and perseverance in you. So do not get discouraged by any comments about, not earning, or you're wasting your time, or what will happen if you don't clear. Do not even pay attention. Listen to them, but dismiss them once you have listened to them. Do not keep them in your mind, right? So no matter what people say, life has a lot of things, and you give your best. Whether you manage to crack it or not is a different story, but you're attempting it, so you're brave enough to make that decision. So I've told you, I've made all 4 attempts, and I think I spent a good 7 years on civil services, but that never discouraged me, saying, okay, this is a useless point of time. At the end of it, I've taken up a different line, but I'm happy that I could, clear whatever I could clear, and I've gained so much in the process. The knowledge is something which no one can take away from you. So do not pay heed to what the society says or what your friends or relatives might mock at, because patience is always the key for these exams. Okay, so Akhil has a question. While eliminating between 50-50, it's a conflict between intuition and brain. Which to rely more on? This is a very wonderful question, Akhil, and also a quite difficult one. So I would say listen to your logic rather than brain or intuition. So when I say logic, it is again going back to looking at those two options as to which is relevant, more relevant, even if you're not very sure of the answers. Say, for example, there is a question on governance and you want to know what are some of the aspects. So there is a very tricky question. We all know, right? There's nothing straightforward in a UPSC exam or any of the civil services for that matter. So when everything is twisted, make sure you read the question again, even when you have shortlisted to those two options. Read the question again, understand it fully, and then go with the logic. Does this sound relevant? Or is this relevant? Or do I remember reading anything on this? If yes, then go ahead with that option. Because if ever you sit and intuit, that might also not work. So intuition is not always right when it comes to UPSC. I did this in the first attempt, wherein I missed prelims with 1 mark. So I know this fact that, if ever that day I had listened to my logic better than the intuition, I would have cleared that day. The first attempt I would have cleared. So it's all about logic and making sure that it is relevant to the question. So read your questions again if ever you get confused at any point of time. Then go back and look at what is that answer which is relevant. Yeah. So it's not a conflict between intuition and brain that you should be concentrating on, but the logic that speaks to you more out of these two options. I hope I have answered your question, Akhil. And Gitu, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Or if there is anything that is bothering you at this point of time. And there's nothing right or wrong or nothing trivial. So you can go ahead and shoot the question or share that thought that is with you.
Hello, ma'am.
Sure, Priyanka, tell me.
Actually, I wanted to share what I feel right now.
Mm,
As you said, it's very tough to be brave. It's very tough, and actually, I don't feel that I'm tensed, or I
mm,
feel, or I try to make me believe that I'm very strong. But
mm,
in the exterior, I feel I'm very fine. But in the
mm,
interior, I can get the signs of anxiety that not any
mm,
more books, not revision, not any more revisions. The
mm,
nerves from my tummy and cannot
mm,
concentrate while meditating,
mm,
sleeplessness, everything. So,
mm.
what can I really do now? What can actually I do to overcome this?
Sure. That's, I think, most of us go through, isn't it? It's not only Priyanka who goes through it, I'm sure, because we are all brushing away and saying that, I'm not anxious. But somewhere, maybe some of us feel, we lose our appetite. Some of us lose our sleep. Some of us feel, frigidity where we can't sit still at a point of time. And some of us might avoid want to looking at book because that will give us anxiety. So at that point of time, just go back and look at what all you have done in these months, in the sense that if you have studied and if you have known, and you know that now it is only 1.5 days that are left with you, can anything change that whole course of action that you have taken or the whole routine that you have followed? No, right? So accept that, okay, I've given my best, whatever I could do, and the exams are so many days away. Let me concentrate on that. So keep yourself motivated and surround yourself with people who will help you feel that motivation and also not feel all this undue pressure, what we say, right? Do not listen to people when they say, okay, you have exams, you shouldn't come out of the room. No, please go have a nice meal with your family, Priyanka, if you are staying with your family, or if you're staying alone, just go out, take a walk for 5-10 minutes, indulge in something you really like, maybe a bar of chocolate or an ice cream or a small sweet or anything that you really like. Or if you're a person who likes spice, go have something which, but do make sure that it does not give you a tummy upset, but something which can help you feel assured and satisfied, right? So that sort of helps you calm your nerves as well. And also accepting, see, your first step of acceptance that, okay, I do not feel stressed but I have these symptoms, itself will help you battle it out better.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And also, if ever I can give you a quick tip, a nice warm tea which is not very strong, which is not milky. If you are a tea person, you can have a cup of tea whenever uh, you're sitting and taking a break, so that you can have that calming effect, especially some light tea, either a green tea or a oolong tea or a chamomile tea, which helps you calm down. Or even sometimes, good fragrances help you to relax, so you can use those as well. Okay, any other question? Or any thoughts? Okay. And also there's one more technique that I can tell you before we close for the day. So there is a vaso nerve, right, in our back of the neck. So that nerve helps you relax. So whenever you are stressed and you want to take that break, make sure that you give yourself a massage here. Hold your hands like this on the back of your neck and slowly start massaging it, right? Slowly. You can put that pressure and massage it here on the nape of your neck, and you can relax. Or you can lift your neck up like this and hold it for 5 seconds, count it for 5 seconds, and relax, right? And also giving that tilt to your neck and to your brain helps you in blood circulation to your brain, and does in fact relieving that stress. So you can do this the other side also, holding your neck and brain, or neck and head. Yeah. And you can do this for maybe 30 seconds to begin with, and then increase it to 1 or 2 minutes. So you will perform well, Reshman. Do not worry about it. And no matter what are the things, there will always be that knowledge that is with you to help you. So, and let's be realistic also, right? So there are 1,000 positions available or 750 available, and so many of us are writing. All we can think of is giving our best. So do not put that undue pressure on yourself, wherein you are, plagued with doubt whether I will do or not. You will perform well. So just make sure, and this is a little trick that has worked for me. Before you enter any exam hall, take a bite of dark chocolate or a piece of chocolate, and then enter the room. So it helps you calm down your nerves. You can read the questions better and also perform better. Any tips to control over excitement during exam by seeing some easy questions? That's a good point, Shreya. So yes, we do get into that overconfidence mode when we have written 10 questions in a row correctly, or at least to our knowledge correctly. So what you need to do is, okay, these questions are easy. Let me look at the other things. Let me celebrate at the end of the questions, or at the end of the exam, right? Say, for example, you have through those 16, 17 questions in the beginning, and you know that you have answered most of them correctly. So just wait till you finish. So give that reminder to yourself saying, okay, it's another 50 more questions, 60 more questions. Let me finish this and celebrate. Yeah. So whenever your brain is, or your mind is ready to celebrate, make sure you give a reality check saying, okay, there are a few more questions. Let me finish. But do not, again, make it so very conscious that you get anxious. Instead, okay, I have done well. So let me do the other things also well, and then celebrate. So this helps. I hope I've answered your question and you find it useful, she asked day after. And I hope you can come out and enjoy or celebrate post that. Yeah. Okay. Any other question? So remember, have a nice glass of water, a piece of chocolate handy, and also carry some nice fruits. Do not starve yourself today, tomorrow, or day after. Make sure you're carrying good amount of food and water, and also some calming music in between. Do not get into that more frenzy of, let me revise quickly before the second exam. No, just take that break, listen to some nice music, go walk out, or have a walk somewhere, or take a stroll, and come back and listen to your people talking, whoever has accompanied, or listen to music if you're driving yourself to the exam hall, and then relax and go, because you have done enough studies. It's time for you to put it down on paper. That's it. Okay. I
So,
hope whatever 30-40 minutes we spent today was useful for you, and you found that it was indeed a value addition and not something that you wasted instead of revising. But I wish all of you do well and all the best for the exams, and I'm sure all of you will do well and perform well.
okay. First of all, it's like I actually want to congratulate those who are take that courage to take that 40-45 minutes of break from their studies and come here. And you are the ones who understand that this is like this examination not only about the information or about the books, whatever knowledge you have. It's all about how you are able to control yourself. So the ma'am has already shared with many things like breathing exercise and many massaging exercise, and also shared a lot of experience from her own life while doing while going through the process of examination. So, and I also very happy to see the many questions from the comment in the comment box, Shias and or Agil and all, wonderful question they have asked. So it's a very helpful session to each one of you, and for us also. And more than that, so I just want to tell you that the on Sunday, like just 4 hours of this examination, what you need to do is forget about the result and forget about the future, what going to happen, whether you are going to write mains or what happened if you are failing this examination. Like, what should I say to my father or something like that? Just forget about all these things. Just concentrate and enjoy the process. Like, whatever, if you are finding a difficult question, just smile and move on and come back again and look at it. If you are able to clear it, then you go for it. Or if you are not able to attend the question, remember that you only need 45% of mark to clear this examination. So leaving few questions also, it's fine. If the question is difficult, it will be difficult for everyone, because each one of you has read the same book, NCRTs, and all other material, everything is same. So if you do not know anything, that means that since you have done enough. If you do not know anything, that means that nobody knows. So it's okay to make mistakes in the examination. As yesterday also one session said, it's not about the negative, it's about the lack of positive answers. So if you are able to eliminate to 50 percentage, take that risk with logic. So take that risk, because that is the maximum chance you get a question correct. So just enjoy the process. Like, forget everything what will happen or what may the future and everything. Just forget everything, just enjoy the process, just be happy. So you are not going to lose anything out of this. Is like, as the ma'am itself said, that it's like every end has a new beginning. So it doesn't matter whatever happens. Okay, so I wish all the very success to each one of you. I am sure that you all will be in the list this year itself. So I also take the opportunity to thank Ranju Krishna, because that was an amazing session, because like very interactive session, and also like it will be very helpful for the students and aspirants community. I know you are busy, and it was a very short note session. Like yesterday only we confirmed, yesterday only we able to inform her, but she came forward and said that this is for UPSC aspirants. I wanted to do it because I have gone through this process. So that was the like spirit of that early, like our like ex UPSC aspirants has. So she wanted to give something back to the community. That's why she's here. Although she was in like on the middle of the work, she took that break and came here. So really, I really thank you for your effort, and it was a wonderful session. Thank you so much, ma'am, from the part of Civil 360 IS Academy, also from the part of aspirants community. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Basil. And please do well, and do not think of results. Do your best and come out happy for taking that. And you have an example in me. No matter where you go, the knowledge will never leave you. So you can always have a new beginning with the knowledge. But for day after, you are going to do best, and all the best again. So take care.